Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Scaffey, and I work on the education team at the National Hemophilia Foundation. It is my pleasure to welcome you to NHF Super 7 Storytime Series. Super 7 is a children's book targeted to kids ages 8 to 12 with ultra-rare bleeding disorders, but everyone will find something to enjoy. The series will include various bleeding disorder community members who share a little bit about themselves and read a chapter from the book. If you couldn't join us during NHF's Pajama Book Lunch Party, please watch the party on our YouTube channel where Dr. Len Valentina reads the first chapter of the book. And please note, every week, NHF will publish a new video with a chapter reading from the book Super 7 for you to watch on your own time. You'll also notice our guests are in their pajamas, and we encourage you to watch these in the evening in your pajamas as well. With that being said, it is my pleasure to welcome our next guest of the Storytime series, Ryan Griffith. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Nicole, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, before you read the audience chapter 5 of the book, I'd really love for them to get to learn a little bit more about you. So we're going to kick it off, and I'm going to start off with a very simple question, and it is, what state are you from, Ryan?
I live in North Carolina, specifically Charlotte. Charlotte is the Queen City, named after Queen Charlotte.
I love it. Warm weather in Charlotte, Queen. I love everything about that statement. Well, with that, if you're comfortable, do you mind sharing a little bit about your community affiliation?
Sure. My son Kai, who is 7 years old, has severe hemophilia A. I'm active in the North Carolina and South Carolina chapters, but I'm also on the board of directors for the National Hemophilia Foundation.
So I would say you have a large community affiliation and you're involved in lots.
I love the community, so I like to be around as much as possible.
I'm with you right there. I love the community as well, Ryan. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Well, next, I'm going to ask you a super important question. What is your favorite food or snack?
Right now, my favorite snack it's like a trail mix that I get at the local grocery store. It's got it's got a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of fruit. It's got some nuts in it, and literally I get like a 20-ounce bag, and it's gone like in 2 days. So I'm grabbing it and just shoving it down my face.
I absolutely love that. And do you ever add things to your trail mix, or you just eat it the way it is? Sometimes, like, I'll throw an M&M in mine, but I feel like you already said there was chocolate in there, so I think there's everything you need in your trail mix.
I think it's healthy, but it's probably not. But I kind of keep it as is. It's perfect.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, this will be my last question before we get into the reading. But why is the book Super 7 important to you, Ryan?
It's important to me. It's perfect because it's a kid's book, and my son is 7, so this is right up his alley. But more importantly, on a broader scope, with all the new kids that are kind of coming into our community that are born with hemophilia, this is a great resource for them to kind of learn more about the disorder, and it makes it a lot more relatable, and they can understand what it is that they're dealing with. Because I'm sure when they're that young, they're really not sure, yay, I've got a bleeding disorder. What does that really mean? Mm-hmm. And I just think this book illustrates it awesome. I mean, I just love it.
Oh, I love that, Ryan. And I also love that before this reading, you were looking for your book and it was in your son Kai's room. And I love that as well. So
it's wonderful. I didn't tell him to read it. And I was like, where's my book? And then it's sitting on his bed, and because he has to read 10 minutes a day for school as part of his elementary school curriculum, and I'm so proud that he actually picked up and read it. And that's rare because making my son read is very difficult. So that's kudos for this book.
Oh, that is super heartwarming. And with that, I feel like it's a perfect time to pass it off to you to read us the 5th chapter of Super 7. So Ryan, would you do us the honor?
I will. Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
All right. So chapter 5, these teachers need to get their act together, I told Jax. I pulled open my locker door and grabbed my lunch. Giving a math test on a Friday before the most important game the Hornets ever play, that should be illegal. Jax was chewing on his pen. He took it out of his mouth to ask, how did you do? I shrugged, okay, I guess. Not too bad. You? Ugh. Jack stuck the pen back in his mouth. I don't see why we need fractions. Math isn't Jack's best subject. I shoved the papers, notebook and textbooks and other odds and ends back into the locker, quickly slammed the door shut and replaced the lock. Fractions are totally overrated, Jax continued. We thought about eating outside, but it was too cold, so we headed downstairs to our English teacher, Miss Poole, would like this word, aromatic cafeteria. We walked past a group of 8th grade guys standing around with a bunch of girls. 7, said Marco with a nod in my direction. Hey, 22, I replied. We went down the stairwell and came out to the basement. Yep, something's smelling already, I said, and Jax laughed. A bunch of guys on the team were goofing around down at the far end. One had a basketball and was bouncing it against the wall, which is totally against the school rules. Some of the players on the girls' team were there too. They were laughing and body checking some of the guys. One guy fell and 2 girls grabbed his hands to hoist him up again. He got to his feet, brushed off his hands, and kept bouncing around like there was nothing. And to him, it was nothing. Jackson and I walked toward the cafeteria door. The girls laughed and one hip checked the dude again, and he didn't care. My throat got tight and I swallowed hard. And what's so great about total accuracy, Jax was saying? Who needs to know something is 7/11 or 24 yards, 2 feet, or 49.5 inches? I mean, really, why can't we just round up or down, Jax suggested. It'd be much simpler. It was a good distraction, so I thought about that for a minute. So if anyone was like 5'6", automatically gets rounded up to 6 feet tall, I said. And I was 5'6". Sure, Jack said, yeah. And anyone that was like 5'4" automatically gets rounded down to 5 feet. I finished with a sideways glance at my body. Jax, who was 2 inches shorter than me, made a face and swung his lunch bag at me. Funny, dude, he said. Very funny. Listen, forget your career in comedy, stick to basketball. I laughed and so did he, and we headed into the aromatic cafeteria and things were good for a bit.
Wow. Thank you so much for reading that to us, Ryan. That was fantastic.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
Well, if you're all curious what's going to happen next week, please join us to hear Chapter 6 read by another bleeding disorder community member. And again, I want to thank Ryan for joining us today. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.